Whoops. It took me a long time to get to
fuck it. She's going to leave it off.
I was going to leave the whole thing black the whole time.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I forgot to scroll and it wouldn't go up to the thing. Like if you use OBS, you know what I'm talking about. You have all the little scenes over here. Zach says, well, hey, everybody. Happy Friday. Zach says, somehow I just managed to cut myself while pulling a loose string. Yeah, that sounds like some shit I would do. You know?
Just cut himself on a string, I guess, huh?
Wait, did you cut yourself on the string, or in the course of pulling on the loose string, you cut yourself on something else? We want to hear the story. We want to hear the story behind this.
So Jenny and I are going to do the little show today. Going to keep you occupied, keep you company, get you ready for the weekend. It's Friday night. Everybody's going to wind down, and then we're going to go out to the club.
Yeah.
We're going to go to Mannequins.
But happily, I at least know that we're going this time, so I already kind of did my makeup and hair, so all I have to do is change clothes. So we don't have to, like, rush necessarily. Mm-hmm. But probably a better idea if we don't drink a fuck ton. Because I feel like last Friday, we didn't drink a shit ton on the show. Well, at least, like, no more than usual. But then, like, we drank an alarming amount, like, when we went out, you know? But I think we danced a lot, so it didn't really seem... I didn't really seem like I got that drunk. You know what I mean? You know what I mean.
Yeah.
You are right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just don't have anything to say to it.
Oh, all right. Zach says, with the string itself, while pulling it, I didn't even know that was possible. Well, you know, I mean, it could be, depending on what kind of string it is. It could cut yourself, sure. I've cut myself with thread before. Danny Rolling said, Tom, which is the better out of the two, Marine Raider or Army Ranger?
Depends on what you're looking for. They're both good units. Marine Raiders are kind of like naval SWAT teams. They're real good at like boarding ships. That's all close combat stuff. It's just pretty much like SWAT team type stuff. Army Rangers are general purpose. They're elite airborne infantry. They're more about being in larger numbers, fighting more conventional style units. But doing a really fucking difficult mission that has to be done. If the mission isn't done, then that whole offensive or something is going to fail. So there has to be more Rangers, but when they're done right, and they're not being done right now. Okay, fucking just look at fucking Terrence Popp's show. He's fucking airborne ranger, Army Special Forces, was in like 30-something years and retired. They put him through the fucking ringer. And Rangers and SF are not what they used to be. The standards since the 80s and the 90s have dropped a lot. But Army Rangers back in the day were badass infantry, hand-picked infantry, basically. They were special it was special operations, but it's special operations where you need thousands of guys, like a big enough force to get something done. Compared to Marine Raiders, now those guys that are in those Marine Raider units fucking come from other units. A lot of them have been to Ranger School. Army trains a lot of those guys. So all your real hardcore fucking Marine individuals, then they go into like fucking Marine Recon units and fucking Raider units. They're trained in Army schools. The Navy doesn't have those schools, and Marines isn't big enough to run those schools. They're a little unit. It's just a corps, you know, a couple divisions, 3 divisions, I think. It's just different. When it comes to like Rambo shit, living out in the field for fucking months and months and fucking people up and ambush, counter ambush, fucking making defensive fortifications, fucking infiltrating in an area on foot or airborne shit, fucking Vietnam style stuff or the Ardennes offensive style stuff or D-Day type shit. High, you know, like fucking what they did on D-Day was fucking fantastic. But you want Rangers for that. There's more of them. They are mean. A Ranger doesn't have to be anything but 100% dedicated, fall on his sword type motherfucker. Physical endurance, no sleep, no food, can fucking be outside for months in fucking horrible weather, and they just do the mission no matter what. They literally want dudes that will walk themselves to death. They want dudes that will starve themselves to death. They want dudes that will fucking stay awake for weeks on end. Psychos. Basically, it's a warrior cult. The highest echelon of the warrior cult via Army Rangers. They're not particularly skilled. They're just fucking badasses. But it's more about endurance. They can just endure fucking tremendous hardship. Other than that, they're just infantry. But they got a good chain of command that's fucking been vetted, and they're put on missions that are important. Very different mission than Special Forces and Raiders and stuff. It's its own thing. But out of the two, in general purpose, a good Ranger, probably. For just general purpose. Like in a Walking Dead fucking end of the world situation, Army Ranger. But no, I wouldn't laugh at Marine Raiders either. It's just because on the individual level, they're real similar. They're real similar on an individual level.
Dave is here. Hello, you two. Just closing up my store. Hey, you. We're probably going to Mannequins later. Actually, we're probably definitely going to Mannequins. We're definitely going. Yeah. I already did my hair and my makeup and everything like that. She's still like, look at her. Mm-hmm. What's up? She's laying on her back. She's so crazy. Oracle said, I have some sad news to share. Last Saturday, our cat Smoke lost his fight with end-stage renal disease. I'm really, really sorry. That's awful.
How old was the cat?
That makes me really, really sad. Yeah, Oracle said, yeah, we've known him since he was about 2 weeks old. His mama was rescued by a friend. She was going to get fixed. When he realized she was pregnant, he was 16 years old. So, that's so sad. Man, that bums me out. That bums me out. Let's see. Zach is talking about cuts. I still think the most painful cuts I ever had was on the cover of a math book in 5th grade. That was made with that real thin cardboard material. I remember books made with that. I remember that. I can't really remember, like, any real painful cuts I had. One that I had one time when I was like shaving my legs, and the razor like cut, I didn't realize at the time, but it like cut sideways, like right across where the front of my leg like went into my foot, and I didn't realize that I'd cut it at the time, but then all of a sudden like blood started gushing out and I couldn't get it to stop, and I started to panic. So, you know, and I kind of got a little bit faint too. Oh, also one time at work, back in the old days, when graphic designers had to like do paste up still, because that's how fucking old I am, where, you know, they print out like the lines of copy, because I worked for a newspaper, and you had to like, you know, paste all the shit and like run it through the wax machine and everything. So you had to like cut all these strips of ads and, you know, classified ads and stuff like that out with a X-Acto knife, and I actually cut off the tip of my finger with an X-Acto knife, and I kind of, I almost had to go to the bathroom, and I was just kind of like, oh, well, shit, look what I did. And I kind of went in the bathroom, and then I was like, I thought I was going to faint for a second, but I was all right. And then, like, I just taped it back on, and eventually it grew back. So, you know. It bled a lot, though. It was, like, pretty alarming. It was pretty alarming. Rob says, Tom, I just hooked up my surround sound and subwoofer and put on Rambo from 2008. Holy shit, first time seeing it. Is that the one with all the gore? The 2008 one?
I think he's talking about Fight Continues.
Oh, okay.
Rambo Fight Continues, because he said Rambo, that there's 5 of them.
Yeah, I was like, which Rambo is that? I'm always just, I don't even remember what that one is called, like Rambo, the gory one.
It's called The Fight Continues.
Oh, okay. The gory one. I think
it's the best one.
I mean, from a horror movie standpoint, it definitely is.
Although I want to see the director's cut of the fucking Last Blood. The one where he's fighting the cartels. There's evidently a bunch of deleted scenes.
I remember we saw that one in the theater. That one was pretty good too. But
it was soft though.
It wasn't as fun as the previous one.
But there's supposed to be a bunch of deleted shit. So I think I have it on Blu-ray. I'm not sure. No, I don't think I have. Yeah, I think I have it. I think I might have it.
Yeah, Oracle said, you know, the cat that died, it said, we still have his litter mate, and the litter mate's been grieving all week. I gave him the towel with smoke scent on it, and that towel has become his whoopee. Aw, that's so sad. God damn it. I mean, I don't know, it makes me so sad.
The Rambo where he goes, the boatman told to stay on the boat by the... I can't read
the SAS soldier.
But an SAS
the Rambo where he was the boatman and told him to stay on the boat.
Yeah, that's the Fight Continues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I don't want to get involved in this bullshit. And then he's like, okay, I'm going to get involved in this bullshit.
That's where he was living.
And I'll really get involved in all the bullshit because I'm going to kill everybody.
That's when he was living in Vietnam, or living in He was over there. He wasn't living in Vietnam, I don't think, was he? He was living in Cambodia?
Myanmar?
Yeah, he was living in Myanmar or something. He hooked up with...
I can't remember.
Yeah, Myanmar. He hooked up with that...
I don't know why I remembered that.
Band of fucking hired guns that were supposed to help those Christian missions, rescue those Christian missionaries.
That's right.
Yeah.
All I remember was heads blowing up, and I was like, "Ooh, heads blowing up."
That's one of the best Rambo movies.
Because I love that kind of stuff.
and Stallone's face was fucked up for that movie, man. I guess he was on
it's Burma. Okay, so
Burma.
So I was wrong.
Yeah, but he was living in Burma, but he goes in Myanmar, I think. Wasn't it? I think it was.
I don't know. I just pulled that out my ass. I could be totally wrong.
I think it was.
I mean, I know it's a real place. I'm just saying. I pulled it out my ass like I don't remember if the movie took place there. That was just the first thing that occurred to me.
And then, what was I going to say? He was going to, I was going to say that fucking Sylvester Stallone's face was all fucked up for that one. He looks a lot better now. I guess he got it fixed. But he was messing with that, I think human growth hormone. I think that's what it did too.
Yeah, he probably had to go to a plastic surgeon. They had to put their foot on the back of his head and pull.
Yeah. They did a good job on him. They did a good job on him.
That's just what I always imagine, like when somebody goes and gets it.
They have to do a good job on him. His wife is like 30. So he has to fucking, he has to look good. I think that's his 5th wife, I think.
I don't know how many times he's been
his new one, I think she was like 25 when he married her.
I wonder if his daughters were just kind of like, weird dad.
No. No. Dude's been doing it for thousands of years.
Well, I know that. Yeah. I'm just saying it's still weird. I would think it was weird, like if my dad had like hooked up with a woman that was my age.
Or younger.
Than me. I'd be like, creepy. I would just think that was
warlords creepy. And shit, fucking important dudes have been doing that for thousands of years. Have whole harems. A lot of times they keep them all at the same time. They don't fire the old wives. They just kind of retire them. Fucking give them a bonus. You got a retirement bonus. So you got the senior wives and all the junior wives. But here they're kind of forced to cut them loose. But I guess that, which I don't know how that happened in a Christian setting, because originally Christianity was like that. A lot of people don't realize that, but there were, early Christians were a lot more like Mormons. They just married successive wives, one after the other. And then most people didn't get married. They just lived together. Well, they just said they were married. That's another thing, too.
Yeah, it's not like you could check back then.
You couldn't check back then.
It's like you couldn't look it up on the internet, check up the legal records or nothing.
And I think it was only 300 or 400 years ago where they made people get married because they wanted that money. Over in Europe, the church said, "No, we're going to have to charge these peasants for getting married." Before if you lived together, then you were married.
Yeah, and everyone is like, well, yeah, I kind of feel like the peasants largely, where they were just kind of like, yeah, whatever. People just like shacked up together, and everybody just like, all right, whatever.
They'd have a ceremony in the bar. They just go to the fucking pub and, we're married now, yeah, and then they get loaded. And they already had 2 kids, that kind of shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Which,
But the church said, no, we need that money.
Yeah, cha-ching.
Yeah.
We want to squeeze every penny out of you people that don't have anything.
Right. Only rich people got married. I was telling Saad that he lives up in Saudi Arabia. Really, only rich people got married traditionally in the Western civilization. And it was rich people, and it was exchange of money and dowries and fucking joining empires together. And they got married in a church. Only rich people got married in churches.
The hell are you doing, Pope? Yeah, I know.
No, yeah, she's trying to go in that other screen.
Yeah, what's the matter? Right? Okay.
You're going to talk about that all day long. Just talking about the fan.
She's going to talk
about the fan.
She just can't get it over.
Yeah.
She's telling us about it, which is like so funny. Fan. She's like, that fan, what is up with that? Like, do you guys know about that? That's on. Yeah, she jumped up on my other desk and she's like staring at it. You're like, she's hysterical. Yeah, Rob said, damn, he just disemboweled someone. Yeah, it's,
Oh, is he watching it now?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's the most straight up like a horror movie.
I think that's the best one.
I think it is too. Well, I mean, other than the first one, which is obviously like, objectively, like that's the best movie, but I kind of feel like that one is the most entertaining just because it's so like over the top gory.
Yeah, well that was Rambo coming back after all this time.
Yeah. So they had to fucking
Pookie, get down.
Oh my God, what are you doing?
Come down. That's it. That's a wrap.
You're
come
in
down.
trouble.
Okay, good girl.
Dave says, "Here I am driving, hearing a meow, meow," and it's Pookie. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's very upset about the ceiling fan being on all the time, and she's always keeps like telling us about it. Like, oh my god, you guys, oh my god. And it's like she just jumped up on my other desk over there, and she.
It must be the blades must be imbalanced because it wobbles slightly, and then I think she's afraid it's gonna fall.
Yeah, it's upsetting her.
Yeah.
I mean.
It's funny.
Zach says, "I love when Jenny's inner crazy old cat lady makes guest appearances."
Yeah.
I'm always a crazy old cat lady. That's okay. She's like a little person. She's like our little fuzzy daughter. So we talk to her like she's a little person. She acts like a little person. She acts like a little brat a lot of the times. But, she's still delightful.
What's up, Pokey? No, now she's attacking my other one.
Oh, no.
And she runs away getting all... She likes to eat the damn tape that so it covers up the camera.
Yeah. That's that's one of her favorite things. Is like because he has that little piece of tape that he puts over, and it's like...
She likes to attack the tape.
When Daddy's not looking... She'll go over there and be like, and try to like chew it off of there. And it's funny because I think I said this before, but you had an old one of those, like an old tablet, and he put like little pieces of tape like all over it, like for her to play with, like a toy, and she wouldn't do it. She's like, nope, I don't want that one. I want yours. Like, and she wouldn't play with the one that didn't work anymore. Yeah. She just wanted the one that Daddy was using, which I thought was really funny. Even though the other one had like tape all over it, so you'd think she would like be having fun, but let's see. Oh, here's one thing. We were talking about this the other night, and we wanted to kind of like run. Okay, I know.
Stop talking. You're interrupting. Yeah. Okay.
Her little. It's funny because she's like she has meows, but it's like all these different like inflections. You know what I mean?
She can talk a little bit.
But she does talk, yeah. I mean, she has that like little tone of voice, like different. What'd she say that time?
What do you want me to do about it? She wants me to stop it.
Stop it!
You want me to stop it? I cannot stop it. Come here. Stop it.
Gramthars says, some people call the tape over the camera masturbation guard. Yeah. Let's see. Slash Fred said one of the classic horror games I remember is Castlevania. Yeah, because Zach was talking about horror games. I wish I had more time to like get into those because some of them look super fun. I remember playing Castlevania a long time ago, like back on the fucking Nintendo. But Kevin says, "Wow, Mr. Clean, you must not have been here for a while, I guess, because you've been had your hair like that or lack of hair like that for a long time, right?" And Friday the 13th for NES is a classic. I don't think I ever got to play that one, unfortunately. But yes, okay, so something that we were talking about, the just idea we were throwing around, and we've kind of talked about this before, but we've never got around to it. But we were kind of thinking about doing kind of more like field stuff. You know what I mean? Like going out and doing like, I don't know, like going around to close places around here that are like haunted or like we're the scene of a crime or something like that, and like kind of go like and do like location. I don't know if we do necessarily live streams because I don't know if I really have anything like the capacity for doing that, but we could do like some reflected or recorded stuff, I guess. But I don't know, like we were talking about that and as maybe something we would start doing. But it would need like a lot of planning, and we probably only do it like once or twice a month, right?
Oh, you're talking about that thing we were talking about?
Yeah. That's why I kind of wanted to get your input in on this, but like about because it was kind of your idea, right? I mean, we've talked about it before.
Yeah, I think it might be a good idea if we do some material that is not in studio, that's outside. Maybe some kind of investigation. Maybe we'll do a trip somewhere, like I don't know, a murder mystery, a murder, like the scene of some kind of crime. We'll fucking tour you through it, or
like some place that's supposed to be haunted,
something like that.
Some shit like that.
Something like that. We'd have to come up with decent ideas. Something that's almost kind of like urban exploration, maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking. I mean, because there are some places around here. Like I said, there's Casadega, there's St. Augustine. Yeah. There's stuff around here that's like supposed to be. There's some sites in Orlando too, I think, but I don't know like how accessible they are. Or like on, we could do what? Because I think Dan Bell did this for a while too, where he just had he just did like Rando Nautica.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Rando Nautica.
Yeah.
What's a Rando Nautica?
It's that app.
I never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's an app.
How do you say it again?
Rando Nautica.
Rando Nautica.
Yeah, it's an app that on your phone.
Okay.
And basically what you do is you're supposed to go in there and you're kind of like supposed to like give them your location, how far of a range you want. And then you're supposed to like manifest like what you want to happen, like think about it. And then it gives you a random location that you're supposed to go to. So it's supposed to have like adventures, you know what I mean? So yeah, Dan Bell used to do, I don't know if he does it anymore because he does like Saturday night live streams where he like drives around Baltimore and like goes to abandoned places and stuff. But for a while he was doing Rando Nautica and he like came up with some weird shit. Like he'd go to someplace being like, ooh, we want to go someplace spooky, and then he'd go like they'd end up in this like really, really creepy fucking place with like fucking a broken doll in the yard and shit like that. It was pretty fun. So I was like, yeah, we could maybe do that. Or like I said, if we had time to plan, because there's a lot of stuff like within, like an hour or two of here that we could probably go to. I was even looking in Orlando. I think there's a place in Orlando where there's like supposed to be like some park that's haunted or some shit like that.
I sent Bee's Nest a Cash App money today. He says it didn't arrive. How long does it take? Do you guys know how long it takes for them? First time I sent him some money, he said he got it instantly. Now he's saying he didn't get it. Should be instant, huh?
Well, I don't know. It depends. Well, because sometimes, remember how I always had to send stuff?
Yeah.
And then, like, sometimes they would get it right away and sometimes not.
Yeah, right.
So.
Yeah. If you're listening, I'm not sending you no more money, dude. And I sent him the photographs of the proof that I sent it. And if he wants to cry like a bitch, Bee's Nest, fucking contact Cash App. Don't call me about it. All right? Your problem's with Cash App, not me. I showed you the receipt. All right? If you need money that bad, go out there and suck some dick. You'll get some money. Man like you, fucking literally sitting on a gold mine. Tiny ass booty like that.
Kevin says, how was your Halloween? What did you do? We dressed up. We went to the Mannequins Halloween party on Saturday night. And then Monday night, we dressed up in our costumes. I was Medusa, by the way. And we did a live stream, and then we gave out candy, like, for the rest of the night. And that was pretty much it. Also asking about hurricane damage. No, we didn't get any. Now, the bad hurricane that we had before, because it seems like you haven't been here in a while. The bad hurricane that we got before, the power was out for a while, but it wasn't out that long, and we didn't really have, like, any damage. And the one that just hit the other day wasn't even a hurricane. It was, like, a tropical storm. So that just kept me awake with the wind blowing, but that's about it. We didn't even lose power or nothing. Danny Rowling said, the home of the lady in Florida that spontaneously combusted would be cool to see. I remember that. Yeah, we were talking about Coral Castle, which, I mean, I think that's like a 4-hour drive, maybe farther. But it's still in the state, though. Because isn't that down in the south?
What?
Coral Castle.
Yeah, it's a couple hours from here.
Isn't that like in Fort Lauderdale or
yeah.
somewhere like that? I can't even remember. Yeah. And that's like 4 hours from here, about.
Yeah. And it used to be out in the middle of nowhere. Now it's like downtown.
It's yeah, well, that's kind of happening everywhere. I mean, like I said, Casadega is maybe an hour from here. And that has like that thing, like the Devil's Chair, like in that cemetery, and that's like all those psychics and stuff. Like, I've only been there one time. Maybe twice. But it's been a long time since I've been there. And like I said, St. Augustine, I've been there lots of times. There's all kind of haunted shit there. So, and there's also all kind of other cool shit there too, like a lot of cool cemeteries and whatnot. So, I don't know. I kind of feel like that might be a fun thing to do. And everybody kind of says, yeah, do it. I'd love to see that. Yeah, it might be maybe we should like start doing it in the new year, or because that's only a couple months away. And then that would kind of give me time to like plan some stuff out and like make sure we had the right equipment and figure out like how we were going to do it. Like I said, we might not live stream it because I don't know if we have anything that has that capacity, like to live stream for a long time. But we could maybe like record some shit and then I could come back and like edit it together. So that might be... Yeah, Camp Guy said Savannah. Yeah, that might be cool, too. Like, Savannah is a cool place. That's probably... I want to say that's maybe 6 hours, maybe farther. Well, I remember that one time when I still lived in Daytona, which is north of here, I drove to Atlanta, and that was 6 hours. But I don't know. But Savannah is like over on the coast, though, isn't it? So I'm not really sure like how long that would take.
Yeah, now Fee's Nest comes back and fucking shows me the receipt where he received the $20, saying, see, I didn't get it. And it says right there on the receipt that I sent him the $20. Learn how to use fucking technology, you fucking Luddite. You got it. Send it to your fucking bank. Fucking fool.
I don't know why you guys don't know how to use these things.
He's a retard.
You didn't know how to use it either. You had to ask me.
Yeah, but once you kind of use it a few times, it's easy.
Yeah, it's easy.
It's easy, yeah.
Yeah, Kevin said it, talking about Rando Nautica, it sounds like a haunted version of geocaching. Yeah, it is kind of like that because so many people use it that it kind of like has little hubs and like little points of like where interesting shit is. So it doesn't have to be haunted. Like the whole thing of it is that you're supposed to... Oh, Jesus Christ. You're going to like knock that over one of these days.
Not that.
You're supposed to, because you don't have to like think, you don't have to manifest like something scary. It's just that, why wouldn't you? Because that would obviously be the most fun thing. But you can manifest anything you want. You know what I mean? Like, I want to find something happy, or I want to find something peaceful, or blah, blah, blah. You can do whatever you want, but like I said, I don't know why you do anything like other than scary, because that seems like the most fun thing, but I'm not you, so I'm not judging. Zach says, I think I read recently Dan Bell is making a movie. I bet it'll be awesome. He did, what's that one documentary that he made? But I think the documentary that he made, he's made a lot, but I mean the main one that he'd been working on, I think he made it about those people, and it was in Florida, actually. Like, he made it about those people that, like, lived in that... Yeah. Okay. That lived in that motel. I can't remember what their names are. He put it on YouTube. It's on there. I haven't watched it yet, though. But, I mean, one of my favorite things that he ever posted, and I think it's still on YouTube, he has, like, 2 channels. He has one that's called This Is Dan Bell and one that's called Film It. And he kind of puts different things on both of them. But one of my favorite things that he did, and I've watched it a couple of times because his voice is really relaxing, is he was talking about driving like through the Everglades. And so he tells like all these really creepy stories about driving through the Everglades. And there's like he's mostly like he's just talking and he's showing like maps of where he was driving and like telling stories about it. But it's like, for some reason, I really like that. Because I guess he lived in Florida for a while. Like I said, he's from Baltimore. But I don't know. I kind of liked the idea. And like I said, we've been throwing it around for a while. We just never really got around to doing it. But it would be neat to kind of like get, out of the studio, like from time to time, and like do something that's out in the wild somewhere. But I'd have to like look around and see if there was anything worth worth covering like when we get there. And I'm kind of thinking maybe we'll do like a place where like something creepy happened, or like haunted, it's supposed to be haunted, or I don't know, some shit like that. I don't really want to go like trespassing on people's shit or nothing like that, but I just think that would be kind of like a fun to do. Gramthars said, Detroit is urban exploration heaven with 80,000 abandoned buildings. Yeah, I've heard. Just watch out for the feral Rottweilers and be sure to step over the corpses of dead addicts. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Kevin said Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, Midlothian. I think we talked about that on one of our shows a long time ago. What's the matter with you, baby? She keeps yelling. What's the matter? I know the fan. I know you don't like it. Zach says New Orleans. Yeah. I mean, that's a bit of a drive, too. How long is it to drive? How long would it be to drive to New Orleans from here?
New Orleans would be about 8 hours.
Probably about an 8-hour drive from here.
Yeah, about 8 hours. And it's an easy drive, but it's long.
Yeah.
Once you just go up there and then you go on fucking I-4 to what is it? I-75, or I forgot the name of it. You only have to do one.
Well, it's not I-4, would it be? Wouldn't it be?
No, you go up I-4 all the way, and then you hit, I think it's I-45 or something, and turn left, and then that goes right to New Orleans.
I thought you meant I-95, because I-95 is the one that goes north-south.
95 then, yeah.
Yeah, I-4 is only in Florida.
Yeah, but it goes up there.
No, I-4 just goes east to west from Daytona to Tampa.
Okay, I thought it went all the way up to 94.
No.
Okay.
No. I-95 is probably the one you're thinking of. That's the one that goes all the way from Key West all the way up to fucking Maine, is I-95. Let's see. Yeah, they're coming up with, like, places to go to. Like I said, it's probably, if we started out doing it, we would start out places that were, like, local, you know what I mean? That we could just, like, drive to, like, in a day, and that we didn't have to, like, stay overnight, because, like I said, I can't afford that shit, but, you know, so places around Orlando, around, like I said, St. Augustine, Casadega, like, that kind of places, because we can get there, like, in a brief amount of time, but...
It would have to be something like where we do a show at a location.
Yeah.
Where that shit happened. And maybe find people that, well, a lot of the shit's gonna be really old. There won't be any witnesses, but you know, we'll see.
Yeah,
I mean, go out where they fucking saw the Florida skunk ape, and then we'll do a skunk ape show out there.
Yeah, we should probably do
that
a
kind of
skunk
shit.
Show.
Yeah.
Because then skunk ape. I don't even know. I think we talked about skunk ape on one of our.
There's no skunk ape.
Well, I know that, but I mean,
but they got people that swore that there is, but.
I know, but it's like I think we did a show, or we didn't do a whole show about skunk ape, but I think we talked about it on one of our cryptid shows.
Yeah.
And I'm not real sure like how widespread skunk ape sightings are in Florida. You know?
Yeah.
It's not just an Everglades thing, is it?
Only a couple times.
That's what I mean.
There's a problem with cryptid sightings in North America. Okay. There would have to be a breeding population of them. There'd have to be enough of them to where they could fucking keep the breeding population going. Which means in North America, you couldn't hide that. Just look at the map of North America. It's real hard, except out in the desert, to go further than fucking 20 and 30 miles and not hit a road. Roads are just everywhere. So those things would be crossing the roads all the time. If there was a lot of them, you'd see them.
Holy shit, it's a skunk ape.
Yeah, you'd see them.
Well, hell, man, I've even seen alligators walking across the street.
Yeah.
Like in a regular area.
And then there'd have to be... then they would make an ecological impact. That's another thing. They'd be eating food. You'd notice it. And something like a skunk ape, that's fucking prime. That would be a prime creature to fucking raid garbage cans. So you'd see them in garbage cans,
fighting with the bears.
Fighting with the bears to get the garbage.
Hey bear, this is my shit.
You're right.
I have opposable thumbs.
Right.
So.
Now some people would say, well, they're intelligent. They're you know, if they were intelligent, they'd head towards man. Is what they would do. Because all the intelligent creatures head towards human habitation.
Well, because it's easy.
Where the food is.
That's where the food is. It's like, look at all the shit they throw away. Yeah. It's like, we can just like live high on the hog, man. Look at like raccoons and stuff. And they're like, all we got to do is come up to your door and be cute and put our tiny little human-like hands out, and somebody will give us food.
Yeah. Raccoons will come up to a house if you feed them once. They keep coming back and they beg. And they just, I'm cute, give me some food. And they'll come into your house, they'll tear your house up.
And I'm like, okay.
And then they'll bring all their friends. You just go on YouTube. You'll see guys who feed the raccoons
it's like
nightly.
Raccoon trick-or-treating.
And he'll have fucking 60 raccoons in his house. And he can pet them all.
Aw.
You know, because
they're pretty tame.
They know when they're being fed. They make friends easily.
Yeah, not going to bite the hand that feeds them. Well, like I said, that's an easy life for them.
Yep.
You know, that they just, like, go around and... I told you, like, where I used to work in the newspaper, like, there was a little family of raccoons that lived in the parking lot, and, like, because people out in the... It was a big, huge parking lot, because it was a big newspaper. But, you know, people would come out there at night and feed them, like, give them pizza crusts and, like, leftovers and stuff like that. So, they would... If they saw a person coming out to the car at night, they'd be like... Yeah, with their little hands out, like, hey, you got something?
Yeah.
It was super cute.
They're little American monkeys, it's really. They're close to like a monkey and a bear kind of cross between thing, you know? They beg, put their hands up, and try to be cute.
And they have those, like, cute little people hands. It's like, it's a little unsettling, but it's also, like, pretty cute.
And we used to think they were kind of fierce, you know? But now that you have YouTube, you can see what other people have done with them. they're friendly and social. As friendly as a dog, and more, I would say probably more intelligent than a dog. Maybe it's a different kind of intelligence, but they're pretty slick.
Beijing used to really like the raccoons that hung out by our old place.
Yeah, we used to think that raccoons might kill cats and stuff. And now they get along great. Raccoons love cats. And cats like raccoons. It's like interracial shit happening. Fucking.
Well, at least our cat really likes raccoons.
Beijing.
She was like, "Ooh!"
Jumped down. Well, these are so cute, and they're like loving on her. They're like, "Yeah, this is a fluffy cat. Look how cute this cat is." Like 4 raccoons are looking at her, like, "Look at this thing." And Beijing would never tolerate another cat, but she liked those raccoons.
Yeah, her and Pookie even still don't really get along. I mean, they get along. They tolerate each other, but they're still. If Beijing tries to come upstairs, Pookie is like absolutely not having it. She's like, "Get out of here! This is my house."
It's funny. The Beijing ran into a raccoon at the old house. Remember? She ran up to it, was standing next to it. Yeah. Going, "Look at this thing! Look at this thing!" Remember that?
Yeah.
And we're like, it's a raccoon.
That was super funny.
She's like, "What the fuck is this thing? Look at it!" She was excited.
She's like, "It's like a kitty, but not."
Yeah, it's not. It's like a cat, but no, not really. Look how cute it is. There's definitely a cute factor. Yeah. Animals do judge each other on looks because they do. Cats do not like possums. There's like, "That thing's ugly." They'll follow it and hissing at it and want to touch it, but they're afraid to touch it because they think it's dirty. And
then the poor possums are like, "I'm really a nice animal. I can't help the way."
Yeah, no, they don't like
poor
possums. They don't attack them, but they're fixated by the ugliness of a fucking possum. And they're trying to they raise the alarm.
They can't help looking.
Look at that thing! Look at that thing! Look at it!
Help! Somebody help!
Yeah. So, animals are just across the board like humans. They judge you on how they look. They're superficial motherfuckers. They're like, they know between ugly and beautiful.
I would imagine too that probably smell has a much larger is a much larger factor than for humans.
Yeah, but it looks too.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that probably how they smell is probably also
mammals know that reptiles don't look safe. Even turtles, they're like, "That's bad." They don't like that. And it's funny, but I've seen them. They're just like, ugh. And they see fucking snakes, and they just, "No, hell no." They totally refuse that.
Some people are recommending like places that we go. Camp Guy says Ted Bundy areas, and that dude that killed those college students in Tallahassee. Are you talking about that serial killer Danny Rowland? Because that wasn't Tallahassee, that was Gainesville. But it's Tallahassee is Florida State, and Gainesville is University of Florida.
Now Murder Hornet shows up. Dude, I was talking bad about you on the show, bro. I was telling you, if you needed that money so bad, you need to go out there and start sucking some dick. And a motherfucker like you is sitting on a damn gold mine with that tight ass of yours.
And
man.
Also, I think he called you a retard.
Go out there and make some goddamn money. If you need that much money, just, you're not pretty, but you're skilled. Okay? Not a deal. Ask Zach. Zach will tell you all about it.
John Gora said problem is they're rabies prone. I guess raccoons.
No.
Yeah, well.
Oh, yeah. They also carry some kind of damn kidney thing that'll fuck up your kidneys. But they're nowhere near as dirty as people think they are. Those wild animals are actually they're clean.
Well, they can't be that dirty, otherwise they get infections and stuff.
Fucking possums can get kind of dirty because they're just slow and they just get in the garbage a lot. But it doesn't matter because they don't live long anyway. I think a possum only lives 2 or 3 years, I think is how long they live. But there are some people that have kept them as pets, and they make a good pet. When you look at it, you wouldn't think they'd make a good pet, but evidently they're real friendly, slow, and as long as you're feeding them, they're real happy and affectionate.
They're so cute and chubby.
Yeah. But those are like, you can't take a wild one and do that. They'll get little pups and fucking raise them from hand, and they make a good house pet. I think they can even be litter box trained.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
And you wash them, and keep them clean, and they kind of groom themselves, and they're evidently like real affectionate. One that's been raised by hand.
You
had a squirrel or a raccoon. What was it?
A squirrel.
A squirrel. Okay.
We found it when it was a baby. It fell out of its nest.
Yeah.
Its eyes were still closed.
My dad's friend had a raccoon,
He didn't. He only lived a couple years though.
Yeah. My dad's friend had a raccoon, but the raccoon was allowed to come and go, and it would go a lot and then come back and sleep in the house, and it was you can't keep one in the house; they'll tear the fucking house up.
Pookie tears the house
so
up.
you have to give them the option to leave.
Wait a minute, I saw something I wanted to answer. Oh, Zach says I love videos of cats and dogs that are playing like BFFs. I like any kind of like interspecies like video. Like what was that one that was like the cat and the owl that were friends, or like a cat? Maybe it was a cat and a crow. I think there was two different ones.
Ben says it's not gay if it's for pay. Yeah.
Well, that's what they say.
Keep that in mind, fucking murder
Kevin
hornets.
said, "Quit pimping out your friend." LOL.
Yeah.
Zach says, "Okay, random, but what's a movie that made you guys cry?" There's lots. Honestly. The worst ugly cry that I ever, and this has been a while, what was that movie that had Anthony Hopkins in it playing C.S. Lewis, and it was about him and his wife, Joy, I think was her name, and like she died at the end? Well, spoiler alert. But I mean, it's like based on a true story. Man, that I would never want to watch that fucking movie again. That was like, it was so fucking sad. That was one of the saddest fucking movies I've ever fucking seen. I don't know, like any like even vaguely sad ending is not like, I might not bawl or anything, but a lot of them will kind of make me tear up. Shit, I even like teared up at the end of Train to Busan, so, and that's a horror movie, like a zombie movie, but that's pretty good. Like props to Korea, man. They made like an excellent zombie movie that also like made me cry at the end. Shadowlands, thank you, that's the name of it. Yeah, Shadowlands. It was a great movie, but I don't ever want to watch that again, not ever. It was so sad, and I don't even I think, you know what it is, like anytime somebody dies in a movie, well, not if it's like a slasher movie, but if it's just like a drama or something like that, and if the characters are good and if the actors are good, then yeah, then I'll probably cry at the end if somebody dies, unless they were insufferable, in which case I'm like, good, die, motherfucker. But one thing that really like almost never fails to make me cry in a movie is if a dude cries. You know what I mean? Like if their wife dies or some shit and then they just can't even handle it and then they start crying, holy shit. I can't deal with that. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Nice in this.
Camp Guy said, medical protocol around here is full schedule rabies vaccination if you're exposed to a wild raccoon, bat, or possum. Holy shit. Yeah. Gramthars said, the Elephant Man turns on my faucet. Yeah, I cried at that too. Like I said, I cried a lot at a lot of them, but the Elephant Man, that's really, really sad too. Holy shit. Like I said, pretty much any movie that has like a likable character that dies at the end, yeah. And it's not so much the character dying that's sad, it's the other people reacting to it that's sad. So if they have the other, I think that's why Shadowlands got me so much, because Anthony Hopkins is just such a good actor that, you know, when his wife dies in the movie and just the way he reacted, oh man, I just couldn't. I had to leave. Like I couldn't even because I was like, I watched it in the UK actually. Like I was at my ex parents in law, and we were all watching it, and I was getting like embarrassed because I was just like, yeah, I gotta go. I can't fucking deal with this anymore. And I was just like I was just bawling. It was awful. For me, it was Hereditary. Yeah, I could see that. That didn't make me cry, but that did disturb me a lot, and it gave me like really bad nightmares for a couple of weeks. That fucked me up. It didn't make me cry, but it made me like feel really, really shitty and weird for like a couple weeks, you know? And it did the second time too, but not as bad as the first time. But I was into it because I was like, well, it's a horror movie, that's what it's supposed to do, and it was like a long time since one had done that, so it kind of made me happy in a weird way. No Time to Die, Titanic, and the movie about Helen Keller. Yeah, I cried at the Helen Keller one too. And honestly, like, it's not even just, it doesn't have to just be like somebody dying or like something sad happening. Like sometimes if something like super happy happens too, like sometimes I'll cry at that also, like depending on what it is. I'm a sucker for like that, because you know how sometimes they'll try to like manipulate your emotions, like with that surging music and stuff like that. That totally works on me. It totally works. And I know that I'm being manipulated. I'm just like, oh, here comes like the surging violins and all that kind of stuff, and then I'm like, like, you know, I was like, God damn it, they got me. But yeah, I just, you know, Whale with Brendan Fraser is supposed to be a tear maker. Yeah, I kind of want to see that, but I don't know. I don't know. Schindler's List, yeah. That was, like, really sad, too. 300. Saddest movie I remember seeing recently, says Ben, was about an old man and his cat. I think it was called Tonto and Me or something. And honestly, like, the older I get, like, I can still watch horror movies, like, all day long. But I've noticed that the last few years, I've gotten a lot more sensitive about, like, shit happening to animals in movies. Not so much people. I don't give a shit. Like, if things happen to people in movies, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. But, yeah, it's like every time I see a movie now where, like, something fucked up happens to a cat or a dog, I'm just like, oh, it makes me really, really mad. It makes me really mad. I saw, what was the movie that I watched the other day and I think I reviewed it. Shit, now I can't think of what it was. Might have been like an anthology or something like that, but okay.
What was that? Oh, what you doing? Okay, you're trying to.
But there was a thing like in it, and like the dog, you know, something fucked up happened to the dog. Oh, I remember what it was. It was one of the VHS movies, and if you've seen them, you know which one I'm probably talking about. Like it was the one about it was called Slumber Party Alien Abduction, and the fucked up thing that happened to the dog in that. I was just like, oh no, absolutely not, absolutely not, because I thought the dog was gonna make it, and the dog doesn't make it.
You want to jump down? She's like, don't bring me up here. She tries to get me on the floor. She wants me to go down on the floor with her.
Yeah, she's like, come down to Pookie Land.
She's like, come down here.
Pookie Land.
Because I go on the floor and I'll feed her a meat stick.
Yeah.
These little meat sticks, and she starts zoning out, fucking chewing on.
God, she loves those meat
sticks. She's like, you're on the floor.
Only the tuna ones, though.
Yeah.
I mean, she'll eat the other ones because they don't. And it's really weird because they make. I think they only make 3 flavors. They're not Sheba, are they? Are they Sheba?
I think they are.
They I think they only make 3 flavors. They make chicken, salmon, and tuna. Chicken and salmon are like really easy to get. You can get them at the grocery store. I've seen them at the Dollar General, all that kind of stuff. But the tuna ones, for some reason, are a bitch to find, and I have to order them like on Amazon. So I even have like I think I have one of the subscriptions where it comes like I think it comes like every 3 weeks or something, because she fucking loves the MEATSTICKS.
Yeah, she's wherever she got mad.
Because I kind of spell things because she's like, well, I want one. Yeah, they're not in here though. But for some reason she really loves the tuna one. So I buy like the big box of the tuna ones, and I have to get ones like every 3 weeks because
we got a pretty big fucking crowd in there right now. For as boring as the show's going, I'm gonna. It's not boring. I'm starting to get fucking loaded in this bitch. We're gonna have to fucking liven this up a little bit.
It's not boring. We're talking about kitties and boobies.
I think it's
What's boring about that?
Okay.
What do you want to talk about,
Tom? I don't want to talk about anything.
Well, then who's probably
about anything.
He doesn't want to talk about anything. Oh, he's getting cranky.
I want to talk about the club. I want to go to the club tonight.
Well, yeah, but we're not. It's not even 7:00. Would you settle down?
What time is the show gonna end?
I don't know.
Okay.
Whenever it ends.
We're gonna end this show at about 8.
Okay, that's fine.
And I'll get us something to eat, and then you can get ready, and then we'll go.
Yeah, because like I said, all I gotta do, I already did my makeup and hair and everything like that. Because I know we're going this time. Like last week you kind of like sprung it on me like at the last minute, so I had to like fucking start over. But today I like waited a long time until I put my makeup on, so you know what I mean. Victor, thank you, Victor. Let's talk about grits.
Fuck grits. I can make grits. Go down there and make grits. I got time to make grits, but I got other stuff that's already pre-made that I can jumpstart.
What do you
Thing
got?
is, I don't want to eat too much, and we eat too much, go to the club fucking looking and feeling fat. I want to go to the club fucking on an empty stomach.
Well, you don't want to drink on an empty stomach, though.
Okay, well, we'll get something.
I mean, but it's good to have something small because I like to have something small before you go because, I like to have something like, I don't like to drink on an empty stomach, but also I don't want to drink too much because I got to wear a corset and I don't want to feel like I'm going to throw up all night, you know what I mean?
All right.
So
I'll work something out.
We'll work something out.
I'll work something out.
I
got thawed hamburger. I can make us some little hamburgers.
Okay, so that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's small.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dave says a really good Publix commercial brings all the sads.
Brings all the what?
The sads. Like crying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Publix commercial?
Yeah.
Why is that sad?
Oh, which one are you talking about?
I don't know what he's talking about.
I've seen some commercials that were sad, I'm sure, but it's like I can't really remember what they were like at the moment. I even sometimes remember back when we were doing the matinee show when we were going and just seeing like all the movies, like we'd go and see 3 movies a week even if we didn't like necessarily want to see them. Like even some of those like fucking cheesy ass horrible dog movies, even that shit would like make me cry sometimes because I'm like, oh, the dog.
Yeah, there was a time we had that fucking AMC
Well, we still have it.
So
we just never go. We just never go.
It's far now. It's far, and that's the closest one. We need to start going back, but you're always busy. You know, you work fucking all day.
I know.
Because she ramped up all the video production because she's making her own videos now, and fucking there's no time to do any of that.
I mean, if I knew, like, because we could probably go. But see, the thing about it is, like, the best day to go is Saturday. But you never want to go on Saturday because you're like, oh, everybody else will be there. But I'm like, well, not. Well, I mean, we don't have to go at night though. We could go like in the daytime.
It's jam packed during the day.
Or Thursday would work too.
Yeah, Thursday would work.
Thursday would work too because I don't have as much to do on that.
I hate crowded theaters. I'd rather go when it was dead. I really do.
Well, I do too. I don't really like to see. I mean, every now and then.
You go take a leak, man. The fucking bathrooms are terrible.
Every now and then, like sometimes specific horror movies, like I've heard Terrifier 2 is like really good if you see it with a big crowd. Like something like that that's like really fun and gory and shit like that is probably fun to see with a big crowd. But other than that, people are just a source of noise.
Yeah, they make noise, they fucking talk.
Even if they're not talking, like they're like crunching and they're opening bags, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, would you please be quiet?
We were at one movie where the woman was talking to her dad through the whole fucking movie, and Jenny was like, will you guys please stop talking? And then she got up and tried to fucking guilt her and shit about being, about telling her to shut up. She made more noise about it.
Yeah, I was like,
shut the fuck up. We're here watching the damn movie.
And it was a quiet movie, like, you know what I mean? It was like one that you kind of had to listen to, and I'm just like, look, this isn't your fucking living room, all right? Go the fuck home and watch it if you're gonna like talk during the whole fucking thing.
You said living room. That's not. It was not their trailer.
Well, I wasn't thinking that fast. Trailers have living rooms.
Yeah,
trailers have living rooms.
Yeah, but their living room was in a trailer.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It's like I don't understand like these people, but thank you, Jeffy Art, by the way. In my VHS headcanon, I want to believe the dog is found by a deputy responding to a call then brought to a vet immediately. I mean, it could have been. They didn't necessarily say that the dog died, but it looked like the dog died, and like that little whimpering noise that it made, I was like, oh no. I was like, god damn it, because I thought it was gonna get to the end and like the dog was gonna be okay, because the dog had been through the whole thing like with the little camera on his head and shit like that, and I was like,
you know what,
fucking aliens.
I got those damn Nathan hot dogs open already.
Yeah, okay,
maybe we'll get one of those, huh?
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, shit, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's like that's like hours away.
Yes, hours away. No, it's 1 hour away.
Well, I'm just saying, like, don't like rush me. You know what I mean? Right. I just kind of feel like
I gotta plan ahead, though. See?
I know, but
it's
like,
I gotta have a fucking plan.
When have you ever had a plan for anything?
I've always had a plan.
Never.
Yeah.
Which VHS episode is that? It was the one that was, I can't remember which movie it was in, but the name of the segment was Slumber Party Alien Abduction. So, was that in 94 or no? Yeah, maybe. No. I can't remember. I can't remember which one it was. James says, I love your crime and memorial videos, by the way. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Kevin said, what does Tom wear? A leather harness?
Shit. Only when I'm hanging you from a fucking ceiling.
Ooh.
Wear what? Just what I'm wearing right now.
Yeah, he's just going to go in that.
Yeah, I'm going to go just like this.
He's going to probably go in that. Zach says, I wish you guys would come to the gay bar I go to when I went there for Pride Month. It was like walking into a fucking David Lynch movie. Wait, in what way? Because everyone that's like that could be really, really good or really, really bad. I'm not entirely sure.
Gay bars are fucking polarizing. Every time me and Jenny go, fucking, it's either the music is really awesome or it's fucking really sucks. It's always at some kind of extreme. When we used to go to fucking Southern Nights, which is actually that's a straight up fucking drag theater bar, basically.
I like Southern Nights.
Yeah, Southern Nights was good. We had a fucking goth night going on.
Like a
there.
fetish night.
Like a fetish goth night going on, and the music was great. The music was great, and the bartenders there were really cool. And they would say that they'd fucking have some nights it was nothing but like 70s disco and shit. Fucking.
Which I could fly with that. I could go with that.
Fucking
that'd be fun.
ABBA's fucking Dancing Queen
Yeah.
and fucking YMCA.
Well, see, now every now and then, like sometimes, I don't know if they do this anymore, but sometimes at Mannequins, on Saturday nights, because for a while they would do something called What the Fuck Saturdays, and they would just play like anything, you know what I mean? So sometimes, you know, they'd play like, I don't know, like Bauhaus or the Cramps or something like that, but then like, you know, 10 minutes later they'd be playing the Bee Gees, and I'm kind of into that. Like, I'm not so into, because like, you know, playing anything also entails like, oh, it's like sometimes they'd play like fucking shit from the 90s or I don't know, like that pop punk crap or whatever. So
some of it was good though, man.
But some of it was good. Well, yeah, but some of the stuff in the
Star and stuff.
Yeah, but that's good 90s. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like shitty 90s.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm talking about like fucking, who the fuck am I thinking of? God damn it. Who did that song All Star?
All Star.
Yeah. What the fuck?
don't know.
I can't remember. But
This
it's
is the
like
90s?
it's like shit like that. Was that 90s or the early 2000s? I don't know. It's all a blur. It's all a blur when you get to my age.
Remember when Prodigy came out? Smacked my bitch up and shit? Remember that? That was what, 97?
Well, they still play. Well, they play that at Mannequins too every now and then. Like
Yeah.
on Saturdays, they still play Smack My Bitch, and everybody still dances to it. Well, like I don't, but like
I like some Diane Ward. Diane Ward, remember them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a they usually play that I think
Yolandi
I
and-
think you're freaky song.
Yeah.
They
Well,
play
there's
that
a lot of they have a lot of good stuff though.
I've heard some of their shit I liked.
Yeah.
I mean, I would, you know, I don't
Ugly
know.
Boy.
I don't know if
That was
I'd
good.
go like and buy anything, but some of it's good. Let me see. Yeah, Ben said, yeah, that annoys me at horror film society screenings. Half the people just laugh like idiots through the whole thing. Yeah, it's like, I don't understand it, man. I know that like, does just everybody think that they can just do whatever the fuck they want to?
Well, they
and
want
it's
to
like,
be centered. They want to be center stage.
Yeah, it's like, look, nobody.
They want to entertain. They want to entertain the crowd.
These are the same kind of people, like I said, that come in Mannequins and are like, woo! Like, I'm just like, piss off.
And then you get to kick them off the fucking dance floor. Get the fuck out of here. Bitch, you can't dance anyway.
It's like, no one cares about you. Piss off.
Yeah.
Stop trying to be the center of attention.
I asked the fucking bartender.
Just dance or don't.
Bartender's fucking cool as shit. She's our age. And fucking she's got big boobs like Jen and fucking. And those girls are out there doing that, and I says, why do they do that? And she goes, because they're children. And me and Jen started fucking laughing. Yeah, that's what it is. They're fucking children.
Well, I had do you remember like the last Friday, I don't think I mentioned this, but last Friday I had like a really weird situation come up where I was out there dancing, like a bunch of people were dancing, but I was like out there dancing, I don't remember what song it was. But like this little woman, this little girl, she was probably in her 20s, I guess, maybe 30. And she was like tiny. She was like a little girl with like glasses on. And she came and like she was dancing like right by me, and she was like dancing like me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like looking at her, and then she kind of like, I mean, it's kind of loud.
I'm just doing what you're doing.
And she's like, I was doing what you're doing, and I was like looking at her like,
don't you do that?
Don't do that.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, but I'm like, what the fuck are you thinking? And I'm like, and I'm looking at everybody going,
she was a nerd.
Like, why? I'm like, did you not think that would come off as like you being an asshole, like you making fun of me, because that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
But like, I guess she didn't mean it like that. But
no, because I
was like, it's still weird though. Knock it off.
What the deal was is Jenny was gothed out, and this girl was not. Okay, she was just kind of a what we would call in the gothic fucking culture a mundane. All right. Which is a regular person.
Or a normie.
A normie, yeah.
Or a muggle if you're like one of those Harry Potter nerds.
Now, I'm not fucking, I don't mean to be rude when I use a racial slur like like a mundane, but she was kind of a yuppie. What would you call that today?
I don't know. I don't know what the preferred nomenclature is now.
Yeah, because we don't know what they are. We don't know what y'all are. Okay. We have our own.
I don't understand.
Yeah, right. We don't even.
That's what I kept telling her. Like, I don't understand. Right. I don't understand. Like, why she thought that would be a good thing to do.
She was approaching it from the point of view that you were leading a line dance.
I guess.
Okay, that's what it was. Totally uncool.
She's following my achy breaky.
Totally uncool in the Gothic subculture. Because the Gothic subculture is not really so much about that type of conformity. We conform within the
parameters
of the fucking goth aesthetic, okay? But
that's pretty wide.
That's very broad, right? The idea is dancing in synchro next to one another is like, no.
That's very weird.
That's fucking line dancing, okay? That's country, okay?
Yeah, we don't do that shit.
Yeah, or maybe like something on stage, some hip hop or something. I don't fucking know. I don't even think they would do that. Well, no, they wouldn't even do that.
Yeah, that's
maybe like terrible. Madonna's dancing entourage.
That's terribly uncool.
But it was very uncool.
Well, I
realized it.
I didn't understand like what she was trying to do. I'm like,
she was trying to be like you.
I guess. Like, I didn't mean to be mean, but I was just kind of like, what?
She was your daughter's age.
Like, I didn't even get, like, if I had a daughter again.
Yeah, if you had a daughter, she'd be your daughter's age. She did.
Yeah.
She was 21, 22.
Well, the thing about it, though, like I said, and that, because we used to get, particularly, like, when Memento Mori was at, iBar, like, downtown, we used to get, like, douchebags that would wander in there, and they would very specifically, like, come out and dance next to people, like, mockingly. Like, they would do, like, the same kind of stuff.
Oh, and I used to fucking drive them fucking crazy.
Right.
I'd get them on booty ride them.
And then they'd be like,
oh, booty riding, I'd beat that guy shit. Like, I would just dry fucking the dude. You know what I mean? And he's like, whoa. And I said, what, you got something against gay people? Well, I'm not gay. And I said, you're going to be gay when I'm fucking done with you. And then they'd want to run and shit, you know?
Well, yeah, because it's like I said, that's
you gonna come fucking dance up against me or her, I'm going to get you in your booty.
And, like, making fun of people.
Yeah,
too.
making fun
like
of
I said, just... everybody, like, just go out and dance and just be fucking normal. Like, just go out and dance to the song and just, like, you don't gotta be rubbing up on other people.
If I see any weakness in a man on that dance floor, it's gonna go maximum security penitentiary real quick. You're gonna be darning my socks for the rest of our sentence. Okay, this is gonna... All right? I'm gonna do it in front of your friends. And then if you fucking come at me, then I'm going to flip it around and fucking with the LGBT. Well, you got some against gay people? I'll fucking trip them because they're totally brainwashed into all that. Because they're afraid the crowd will turn up against them. So I'll fucking launch an uprising against them. So I got you, bitch. You come in that club, I own you. You piss me off, you're going to be my hoe.
I don't know. I just...
And we know all the owners. We're friends with the people that own the fucking club. And friends with all the security. And all the gangsters and all the bad people are also my friends. The cops and the criminals are my friends in those places. Jenny could attest. But, no.
I just thought it was very, very strange.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I'm just out there dancing and listening to music and having a good time. And then suddenly I see this little mini-me person. Like, next time I'm like, what are you doing? Are you, like, mocking me? That's not cool. And I guess she wasn't, but that was, like, the first thing. Because like I said, douches used to come in Memento Mori and do that kind of stuff all the time. But it's like... I was just kind of like, what are you even thinking? Like, why would you go up to somebody and do that? It's like, just do your own fucking thing.
There was one dude I tossed across the fucking dance floor. Remember that? And that was before I was even big.
Yeah.
And then remember that fat boy?
That was before I was big.
That was before I was even big. I was a little dude then, and I fucking tossed that bitch. He was just a little fat beta, and fucking he came up and fucking dancing ridiculous in front of me, and I fucking tossed his ass.
Well, he was dancing all up on my ass and shit.
Yeah, and security tossed his ass.
Which I fucking hate that. Like, please don't ever do that. I mean, we shouldn't have to tell that to people here, for Christ's sake, but that's...
He thought he was... I don't understand it. I don't understand that shit.
I don't understand
that shit.
Well, like I said, that's why I was mystified by that girl. I was just kind of... I'm, like, looking at everybody going, what the fuck? And they're like, I don't know, man. I don't know what the fuck. What was she thinking?
Zero comprehension of club culture. Zero.
Well, they don't really... It's not like...
They must be online only or something.
The thing about it, like I said, and we've talked about this before, but I think, like, those kind of people, like, some of the people that, like, come in mannequins and stuff like that, are just kind of people that hang out at, like, sports bars and, like... I don't know, like other kind of clubs.
They're not sure where they are.
And they're not really sure, like, what the etiquette is, clearly. So they just, like, act ass, like, when they get in there. Like, they would act. And I guess they get away with it, like, in other places, because everyone's acting like an ass, and that's just what you're supposed to do.
They're in an environment where they're not really sure what the rules are, so they just fucking think there are no rules.
So they double down.
They double down on shit, and then they're bounced immediately. Yeah. Pretty immediately. Yeah.
It's pretty easy to intimidate them, though. It's like, seriously, all you have to do, it's like, if you look kind of gossed out and stuff, and you just kind of over there, like, dancing by them and just, like, accidentally elbow them a couple times, they'll usually leave.
Yeah. Force a physical confrontation. Yeah.
Whoops.
Well, they're not really attuned to the inner dynamics of the fucking club's social network. We got fucking David in there. He knows what's up. We saw David last week at the fucking Mannequins.
Yeah.
We were hanging out up at the bar. He says that listening to us is better than any radio. It's funny. It is because we all know each other. But it was funny to be next to up at the bar next to a fucking regular listener who is also a local that we know. It's just weird. You know?
Yeah, I've known Dave a long time.
Yeah.
I think I met him before I met you even.
Yeah. He probably knows me a lot better than I know him because I've been listening to a long time. You know what I mean? Fucking, I spilled my guts on this bitch. You can piece together who I am if you've been listening to for years, like some of y'all have.
Yeah, we say all kind of shit in here.
I'll get fucking messages out of the blue through social media of dudes that I don't fucking know who the dude is, but he knows me like I'm his buddy. You know what I mean?
Well, like I said,
I appreciate it though when you do it. I appreciate it because
that's what happens. Like when you come on here and like talk about, and like I said, sometimes like especially on the Sidetrack shows, like we've had a few drinks and shit like that. It's like we just start like saying all kind of crap. I don't even remember most of the shit we've said on here. I'm sure we've said all kind of horrible things.
They'll hit me up with inside jokes and talk about something I said a long time ago. Yeah.
And sometimes I don't even remember. Sometimes I'm like, oh shit, did I say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of the shit I don't remember, but I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. And then we'll talk a little bit and fucking then vanish. It's just there's a lot of fans. And then like some of them have fucking stuck. Like that's how we met Sophie.
Yeah.
And there were some people from just all over the world. But Sophie over the years has become real good friends of ours. She's fucking birthday presents and fucking Christmas presents and shit. And she's been down a couple times and sometimes. But me and Soph had friends in from Michigan and
because you lived in Michigan and she lives in Michigan.
So one of her friends was like the little sister, one of my best friends up there. So but she didn't know that when she became a listener. Just over time, she pieced that together. That I lived in her area. I knew same people she knew. So that was a trip. Just and then talking to people in Australia, UK, South and Central America. Down as far as fucking Argentina, just Korea, because I lived in Korea for a while. So we got a couple. What was her name? Miss Kim. What was she? Kim. I think they're all named Miss Kim. I forgot who was. She's a regular. It's just kind of funny how you end up people end up knowing us.
Well, and like I said, that's the thing. We're kind of like on here just talking, but like we don't script these. Like even the recorded videos. Like I put up a video of us talking about the Boris Karloff movie, The Mummy. We didn't script that. I mean, you know what I mean. We just like sit here and record it. So this is kind of like what you see is what you get kind of thing. Like this is pretty much exactly what we're like in real life. Like if you know us in real life, we're pretty much exactly like this. We're not any different.
No, we're more fun in person.
Well, that's true.
At the club, we're more fun.
That's true. Because on the we're just kind of like
because we're not in the studio.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more people, and then we're around our friends. And what's funny is like our friends don't listen to the show. Our civilian friends, but they got their own projects.
Our civilian friends.
Our goth friends. Our goth friends don't. Most of them don't really listen to the show, but they're all running their own things. They got their own bands, and we don't listen to all their shit all the time either. It's kind of like we're all part of the circus. And we're
because everybody like I like to try and keep up with people's stuff, but it's just kind of like there's a lot of people that are creators, like there's artists and writers and
clothing makers,
like
doll
like
makers.
Everybody's like has their
musicians
own shit going on, and so it's like we know a lot of people in bands and stuff like that.
Yeah, so we all hang out together, but we can't closely follow their shit because we're working. But it's like we're all like part of the circus, and they're all goths, most of them. Some of them aren't, but they're all just cool people,
Kevin said, "What is the popular goth wear these days? Steampunk. Steampunk is
gone.
That's been gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
They will do a steampunk event every now and then. I actually just did a poster for like an industrial steampunk thing they want to do, but that's usually like a once in a blue moon thing where people will dress up like that. But I haven't seen anybody wear steampunk stuff for maybe 10 years.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite that long. But I don't know, it's kind of like all over the place. I have seen like kind of a resurgence of more kind of death rock stuff, like from the 80s. Particularly among like the younger people, like you know, the bigger hair and like the Susie eyes and all that kind of stuff.
Almost, faux hawks,
a lot of
big, tall
faux hawks, like
mohawks,
like ripped fishnets, like leather jackets, all that kind of stuff. But it's really kind of like across the board. You asked if a kilt would fly. Yeah, we actually know a couple guys that wear kilts pretty regularly.
What makes a goth outfit is not the clothes; it's always the boots. It's always the boots and the footwear.
We talked about
that earlier. Is that you got to have pair of fucking Demonias or New Rocks or some old Fluvogs. Fluvogs did cool shit. Remember Destroy? Remember those?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like... There's you can get those on Etsy. There are people selling old ones and they still look brand new because they were all leather. Destroy and Flu... Remember how expensive Fluvogs were?
Yeah.
They're still expensive. They're $700 for some of those Fluvogs.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and they're not that cool.
That's what I mean. They can't be that. They can't be that fucking awesome.
They look kind of, but some of the stuff that's out there that's used, you can get for like $100, $150, $200, and it's like buying a pair of New Rocks. They last 30 or 40 years. You can wear them every day.
They better
because everything is so, you know, there's no synthetics in them, so everything can be repaired. But they have that same look that you would see from like Demonias. And remember Pentagaglin?
Yeah.
Remember those? Gone now, I think. But a lot of Demonias are copies of Pentagaglin now. Now that I fucking remember it. But, you know, it's the footwear. The footwear is fucking 90% of it. So if you have a good pair, like, say, if I was going to wear a fucking kilt, I wouldn't really fuck with Demonia. I'd fuck with New Rock. It's classier. More expensive. Get you a pair of $300 fucking knee-high boots. Wear that.
But like I said, they last longer.
They last forever. Like this. I got a pair. I got two pair. But that's what they look like.
Yeah. And like I said, those were what, 300, 350?
340, 350, I think, weren't they?
But you've had those a long time.
But yeah, it's been about 8 years probably.
Yeah, you've had those.
And they get better as they get older. It's all real leather, Spanish-made stuff. And because they always kind of look alike, they don't really go out of style. You know New Rock when you see it. And you'll see, you know, most of your metal guys on stage, all those bands they're wearing New Rock, you know.
Well, see, that's what I always thought was like kind of cool about like the goth scene is that it has its own, I guess it has its own things that go in and out of fashion, but
some things never go out of style.
Some things never do, and I kind of feel like it's like a much wider, like you could get away with wearing some shit. Like, you could turn up from, like, looking like 90s, you know, you could do full 90s goth regalia or whatever. Like I said, you could come in looking like fucking early 80s death rock, like alien sex fiend kind of shit. You could do that, and it's like everybody like, all right, I suppose so. You know what I mean? So it's not just kind of like, oh my god, that was so last year. Like, nobody really does that, you know what I mean? But, like I said, there are things that go in and out of style, but... Because I remember, like, for a time... okay, now there is one thing that people wore a lot that nobody wears anymore. In the 2000s, I kind of feel like in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, when the whole Graver kind of thing was big, which I never really got into because I don't like that. But a lot of people, like a lot of girls, it's mostly girls, would wear those kind of like knee-high, like fur. You know what I mean? Like they put like boots on, but then like there'd be like these things that you put on your legs that were just like this big fur thing. It looks kind of cool, like I guess, but I don't know. I had a pair for a while, but I only wore them a couple times because I was like, this isn't really my look, you know what I mean? But you never see anybody wearing those anymore. Never. I mean, if you did, like, I don't think anybody would like shit on you or anything like that, but I just haven't seen them in a really long time. So that's one thing that I can think of that people don't wear anymore. Did you guys ever review Dr. Sleep? I'm pretty sure we did. It might have been like a matinee show. Now, it might have been like one of the old matinee shows where we saw it in the theater, because we saw that in the theater. But I don't know. We might have done another show on it like after, because Tom bought it on Blu-ray, and he just like kept talking about how much better the director's cut was. So I'm kind of thinking that we did another version, but maybe not. Victor said, whatever happened to that German lady that would make the long usernames? Yeah, Sandra. Whatever happened to her, like the peanut butter girl? That's what I was wondering too. And Tila, she's not around anymore either. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just because their schedules changed or they got sick of listening to us, or I don't really know. Danny Rolling said, could black Timberland boots pass for goth? Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
No, there's certain brands and
It'd have to be
looks.
real dark in there.
Yeah, certain brands and certain looks that you got to go to if you're poor and you can't afford. And I'm not saying this with a derogatory sense because fucking everybody has them in the scene. If you don't have a lot of money, you got to go with Demonia boots. That's easy. They're not made real well. If you wore that every weekend for a year, they'd probably fall apart. But a lot of people have a bunch of Demonia footwear.
Yeah, I have several
and
pairs
they
of them.
rotate them. You know, they don't wear them, and you'll get more years out of them. You know, the good thing about Demonia is it's accessible. The fashion's pretty good on them, but they're accessible. You can get them. Prices are only about $100 for a good pair, and you get a lot of selection. They make a lot of different things, so you'll find something that'll fit an outfit. The real good shit like New Rock, they all look pretty much the same. They're just different heights, different stuff on them, but it's all that same style. And it's 3 times the price, but they last forever. And they haven't changed in fucking decades. You know,
I mean, they're kind of classic,
They're
you know what I
classic,
mean?
yeah.
Just like fucking Doc Martens. Like,
Right.
you can still you can wear Doc Martens and nobody would say boo.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because that's like a very classic design. You could even wear the different colored ones. Because I have a red pair and I have a blue and green plaid pair too.
From what I saw on Etsy going vintage, only an expert goth who's been around a long time would know the difference between what you could wear today and what you couldn't. Some of the Fluvog, and it's girls of Fluvogs, not guys, girls. Because they didn't really make guys' shoes. This is back in the day, back in the 90s. Guys weren't in the market. Girls had all the cool shit back in those days. But some of the Fluvogs you see on there that you can get used for $100 and something are all leather. They would be $300 now, probably. They're still in great condition, the ones that they're selling. And it looks like something you would buy today from Demonia. A little more simple, but better quality. Real leather. And also Destroy, which was a 90s brand. Destroy looked like Pentagaglin and New Rock, kind of, is what they look like. And they were just these evil-looking boots for girls that had big cleats on them and metal, and they were leather, and they came in different colors, like fucking black or black with blue, and it was just called Destroy. Look at 90s Destroy footwear, shoes, or boots, women, and Google it. You'll see. It'll come up. They'll probably be on Etsy, and they're gonna be bidding on them. And that shit's decades old, and you look at it, it looks brand new. Because that's how good. They would think they were British, I think. That's how good footwear used to be. They were like handcrafted, made out of real shit, real leather. Leather lasts a long fucking time.
Yeah, if you take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin said...
There's leather boots out there over 100 years old you could wear and walk around in them. They're out there.
Kevin said, do you see anyone wearing the German tie-dyed super tight jeans like skinheads?
No.
I was saying that one thing that you don't see anymore that you used to see everywhere was those knee-high fur things. Remember those?
Those were cute, though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that was mostly a Graver thing, and you don't really see... You don't see cyber shit anymore, really.
Yeah.
Not
You're talking about the fur...
I mean, if somebody came up like in full like cyber regalia, like nobody would think that was weird necessarily,
like it.
but you don't see it anymore. Like nobody usually wears that. But whereas when I used to go to the castle like in the early 2000s, you used to see that a lot. Like
You talking about the boots that were made out of fur?
Well, they're not boots, but they're those. I had a pair. Remember those like red and black?
Oh, the leggings.
The legging, like the fur
leggings,
leggings,
yeah,
you know what I mean? That you wore over the boots.
Yeah, it's kind of been gone for a while.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's one thing, because I was trying to think of like something.
They're not out, though.
No, that's what I'm saying, but it's
yeah.
like you just don't see them in the wild anymore. Like I said, if you wore them, like I don't think anybody would look at you weird, but...
You'd have to be in the full outfit.
Yeah, you would need kind of the full cyber. Like I said, if somebody came out of like a full cyber and they had like fucking, you know,
the lights
circuits and shit in their hair and shit like that, like everybody'd be like, oh, cool, you know what I mean?
Throwback day.
It's throwback, right.
Yeah.
But like nobody would think it was strange. But you just don't see anybody wearing them just like casually anymore. But I remember like for a while you did. Like a lot of girls wore them.
I was showing photographs of real 90s era goth girls. And how good goth was back in those days. How pretty those girls were. and what they wore was very tasteful. And a lot of it would be considered kind of normal clothes today. A lot of the stuff that they wore, it wasn't back in the day though.
Yeah, it's funny how weird it seemed back then. Now you look at it, it's not weird at all.
Not weird at all. But they were real femmy by today's standards. They were cute, and I forgot how young they were. I was there at the time, and they were just my peers. I forgot how young we were. But just Google 90s goth fashion. And photographs of real people going to the club. And the guys and the girls will come up. Then you put images on Google, and it'll come up. And it was, I forgot how tasteful it was. But it was still definitely goth. Definitely. With the bangs and the long hair with bangs and pony falls and shit like that. It was just a good time. Pretty decent
I do still like all the pony fall stuff.
Yeah.
You don't see that as much anymore, but like I said, I still have some.
Yeah.
Because like I said, if you see some of those pictures of like the girls with like those really big long hair with all the colors and stuff like that, those are just clip-on ponytails, because I have some like that too. You just put your real hair into little like buns, and then it just clips over like that. It's like super easy. And actually this hair here, this is mostly my hair. The bangs are my hair, but this little puff, that's fake. But my real hair is like underneath there. I put them in like little things and then put like the bigger, just to give it some volume, you know what I mean? Rebecca says, good morning, y'all. Aren't you, because she's in Australia, aren't you kids heading out to mannequins? Yeah, we are in a little while. It's a little bit. What time is it? It's 7:20.
Okay.
It's a little bit early still.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna knock off here probably
around 8.
Probably like 8-ish, and then because we gotta like eat something before we go. But I don't want to get there like too early. Well, I don't know. What time did we leave last time? 9?
Yeah, when we got there, it was about the time. Remember, we still had.
It was pretty dead when we got there.
Yeah, but I was able to find parking. Had it been later, it would have been more difficult. That last time we went, that was a big event.
Well, yeah, that was Halloween.
We were lucky to be able to find parking.
Yeah, we thought we were going to have to come back home because we couldn't find any fucking place to park.
Right.
Because the whole street was closed off because they were having a big carnival or whatever. Danny Rowling said that whole early millennium fad of plastic luggage looking backpacks and goggles look was stupid in my opinion. Yeah, I didn't love it. I didn't really love the cyber goth thing or the perky goth thing. Perky goth can work.
Some of it did. Some of it was good.
Some of it looks good. But like the real cyber shit where it's just kind of like everything was like goggles and those big like neon colored furry things, and just they were putting all that stuff in their hair, like tubes and wires and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know, it depends. Like sometimes it looks cool.
It always depended on the person.
But it depended on the person and like what the look was. I didn't love like all the neon because I don't really like any of that I don't like that raver shit. I don't like any of that stuff.
It always depended on the person. There were some gorgeous people that could put that on and they just looked fucking fantastic. But that's not normally what you had. Normally you had people that really shouldn't be dressing like that, doing that. You know, like they just didn't have the level of physical fitness, and you could only get away with that shit if you were fucking basically tall, thin, and beautiful. Then you could fucking
and very young.
Yeah. Then you could get away with that. But
yeah, once you were like in your late 20s, like or something like
start
that.
Getting into your 30s and
shit
stuff.
Didn't work anymore. And like you said, it looked way better on all that cyber shit. Looked way better on like tall, skinny girls.
Tall, skinny girls. Yeah.
That looks way better on them. On other people, not so much. Like I said, it depends on the person. But I don't like that look in general. But it does work on some people. You know, I was usually more. I'm kind of more of like a classic goth, like Victorian stuff. I like Victorian stuff. I like death rocky looking stuff. So more kind of dark punk kind of thing. I like kind of a glam kind of thing. I like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I don't really so much like the cyber industrial kind of end of stuff. Although some people really do pull it off, but it depends on the person. But it's just like personally, I'm not really into that. And honestly, I really like I said, I like kind of the cabaret stuff that was real in like the mid 2000s. And I really liked, I don't know. I kind of feel like there was what was that other thing that I was thinking? Oh, and I really like kind of the psychobilly. I like the psychobilly kind of look too, which is kind of like rockabilly but horror. You know what I mean? I like that too. Like that usually looks good, and that usually looks good on like short, curvy girls. you know, that kind of look, because it's very 50s inspired. But, you know, I like that as well. Rebecca said, side note, I did manage to view that Netflix series about that family that hanged themselves in Delhi. Yeah. I need to watch the rest of that too. The poor cops and crime scene people on that case. You would never get that out of your head. Yeah, I really felt bad for them. Like, I just watched, like, the first 2 episodes, and I was just kind of like, holy shit, I can't imagine. Yeah. I can't imagine, like, seeing that. Like, you would never be able to, like, not unsee that. You know what I mean? And that, ugh. They could probably, like, go their whole fucking career and not see anything like that. It's just horrifying. Even imagining it is just, like, stressing me out. Zach says, I remember wearing tracksuits. Oh, remember wearing tracksuits and bedazzled everything was a huge fad. Same with wearing a t-shirt over a long sleeve shirt with blonde highlights, none of which looked good. Yeah, I didn't actually mind the shirt, like the short sleeve shirt over the long sleeve shirt, because I kind of feel like that was a little bit like when I was in high school. That was kind of like a more skater thing. So that's like what skater kids were doing, like skater boys. So I didn't mind that as much, even though I'm not real into like skater culture or anything, but I thought that looked okay. And that was actually like a good thing if you wanted to wear like a cool band t-shirt, but it was cold outside, which you don't usually have that problem in Florida, but every now and then you do. And so then you could kind of wear like a long, because I think I did it a couple of times too, like if it was cold out. Like, you just wear, like a regular long-sleeve shirt or, like, a fishnet shirt underneath, and then, like, you wear a band t-shirt over it. But, yeah, Zach said when I was a kid, I had single shirts that were designed to look like that. Yeah, I thought they made some that were, like... When I was in school, like, I don't think they made any that looked like that. You just had to, like, do it by yourself. It's just funny. It's funny because I didn't even... where I grew up, we didn't even have, like, a Hot Topic until... I want to say like the late 90s maybe. So before that, like, I usually had to mail order clothes, or you had to like go to like a thrift store and like put some shit together. Or what I used to do a lot was I would go to like Ross or Marshall's or something like that, because a lot of times they would have you know, dresses and shit like that for, you know, $15-$20. And sometimes, like, if you found cool ones, like black ones, you could kind of either, like, cut them up, or you could, like, combine them with other things or something like that. Like, I actually found some really cool shit like that, you know what I mean, that you wouldn't think, but if you paired it with certain accessories and shoes and stuff, like, it looked really awesome. Zach's like, also cargo pants. Yeah, I remember those. I mean, yeah, I didn't really get... Rebecca said we still don't have a Hot Topic. Fucking Australia. Well, Hot Topic, I don't think it's...
That's gone.
I haven't been...
Yeah.
Well, no, it's still around, but it's like...
It's not gone.
I haven't been in one in a really long time. Last time I went in one, yeah, it's not like... It hasn't had any goth stuff for a really long time.
When it first kind of appeared in the U.S., you could get goth clothes there.
Yeah, like I got some there, like some not real corsets, but they had kind of like just those show corsets, you know what I mean?
And
like those kind of tops.
They didn't have boned stuff. You had to get that from Europe. But you couldn't. The stores weren't that good. What was good was the online shop, and that's really where the best goth stuff was in the '90s for Hot Topic. If you went in that store, there wouldn't be enough selection. But if you went online, they had fucking 5 times the selection. And that was the time where that must have been 97, I think. I think it might have been 97, 98. I was blown away. Because I was buying, me and my ex-wife, my first wife, buying us clothes online with a debit card from Hot Topic and have it delivered to the house. And I was like, well, what the fuck are these malls for? It was mind-blowing. I felt like I was in fucking an Arnold Schwarzenegger fucking sci-fi movie. I thought I was in fucking Total Recall or something. It was a trip.
Which now you can have literally anything.
Now you can have anything you want. Right.
It's like, here, bring me my groceries. Thank you.
Right. But when that shit's...
Half an hour later.
Yeah, we felt fucking high-tech as shit doing that. We're like, we cheated. Man, we got the shit. We didn't even go to the store. And just paid for it with this. Yeah. And then they brought it to us. You know.
Suckers.
Yeah. Fuck them all. And we were in Mississippi. Okay. Fuck retail. And it was mind-blowing. Before that, you could order it through like goth catalogs.
Yeah, I used to
Black
get
Rose.
Yeah,
from
Black
England
Rose
has
was one. And I a long time ago, like I actually went to their store, like in Camden Market in London. I don't know if it's still there anymore. It's probably
expensive.
not.
It was expensive.
It was, but yeah, you had to like save up. And what was that other one? I had like, remember Cambriel?
Trash and Vaudeville. Cambriel was a friend of mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
In Boston. She used to make that shit.
Yeah, I had one of her dresses, like a green velvet one that had like these really awesome like bell sleeves with all this lace in it and stuff. I don't have it anymore because it's really old. But
Cambriel was kind of like the goth version.
She's still around.
She's still around. Yeah, she's a cute little girl. Back in those days, she's a grown woman now, but she was a little bitty cute goth girl that was kind of like a 20-something-year-old gothic. Who's the girl from fucking Fleetwood Mac? Fucking
Stevie Nicks.
Like a little Stevie Nicks is what she was like. She would kind of sell kind of witchy, fairy kind of.
Well, she likes medieval kind of stuff, which I like that too. Yeah. Like medieval, like Renaissance fair. Like I said, the dress that I got from her was. It was like
she was in then in the 90s.
It was real velvet, and it was green. It was like this really pretty like emerald green velvet, and it was like off the shoulder like that, and then it had like long sleeves, and it had like bell with like lace in it, and then it was like about knee length.
Yeah, and
I loved that dress.
They do layouts on her, I think, on Gothic Beauty and
Gothic she was in magazine. There all the time.
And I think
she's kind of famous, like in the goth.
Was she in? Was she in Propaganda magazine?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
You guys don't know what the fuck we're talking about. See, back in the day before the internet, we had our own fucking fanzines and magazines. And you had to subscribe to them. And they would come irregularly, most of them.
Well, Propaganda only came out like four times a year.
Yeah, quarterly.
And that was mostly photography. There was articles in there too, but that was mostly like because the guy that put it together was like a photographer, and that was like I used to really like it though.
A lot of it was centered around fucking John Koviak and his handsome ass, who was kind of like a pen pal / friend of Tanya, and Tanya was fucking Voltaire's ex-wife. But during those times, she hadn't met him yet. It was just she was my buddy, Tanya. I'll show you a picture of Tanya. Tanya worked for Chanel. She was a Chanel girl. And she'd hang out at fucking Man Ray in Boston. She was cool. But she ended up hooking up with, if you guys don't know who it is, a famous goth dude named...
Voltaire.
He
has a really fun channel. Yeah, he's a musician. Like I like his songs. Like he's hilarious. Like it's almost kind of like goth, but it's funny. You know what I mean? Like he has
got comedy in it too.
Like really clever lyrics. Like he's really funny. And he has a channel on YouTube called Gothic Homemaking. And he like makes things and like does decorating and goes around to different like gothy bars. He lives in New York City. Yeah. And and they're super fun. Like he's our age or older.
Yeah, he's my age.
But he looks good though, I think.
Yeah.
And he sometimes
as opposed to us.
Well, you know.
I didn't say. He's in good shape.
He's doing good.
He is, yeah. I thought I had some Tanya in here. I don't have any Tanya.
Rebecca said, "I've been burned buying clothes online. Size and the shape is never the same. I need to try my clothes on for the right shape in a store." Yeah, I mean,
you got to take a chance though, because
sometimes
on where you are,
75% of the time shit turns out okay.
Yeah.
Or I can work with it. If you 25% of the time,
if you kind of live out in the middle of nowhere, there will be no opportunity, zero, for you to get your hands on any decent clothes retail. You know, your ass is gonna be shopping down there at the mall.
I always kind of wished that I had the patience to like learn how to sew, because my mom could sew. Like she could sew anything. Probably still can if she wanted to. But she used to make our Halloween costumes and like all kind of stuff. And I was like, man, I really couldn't feel like I should learn to do that. And it's like I don't remember if it was junior high or high school, but I took home ec, and they had like a sewing semester, and man, I was like fucking tragically bad at that. I don't know why. It's like my little hands are just not that coordinated. Yeah. I can't do I can do a lot of things, but I can't do like little fiddly, anything that has to do with like little fiddly stuff. It's like I can't fucking do it. Gramthars says the New York Times calls Voltaire the Martha Stewart of goth home design. Yeah, he's written a couple books too. I have he's written these like cute little books. He did one about just goth culture and fashion, and he did one about gothic decorating. Like he had like all these little DIY projects in there and like all these like ideas and stuff. But yeah, he's like really fun to watch. He's like super cute. He's like your goth dad.
Yeah. Okay, here's some 90s goth stuff. I took this down at Man Ray in Boston. That is Switchblade Symphony up there on stage. But you can see in front of me in the crowd, bunch of young goths, all in basically handmade clothing with the little hats and stuff.
Well, you had to.
Yeah.
Like I said, most of my shit came from like thrift stores. Like,
you can
back in the 80s and 90s.
You can see the back of those hats and everything that girl's wearing. But that's Tina Root up there on stage, who's long gone now. Switchblade Symphony was a great band.
They were very
Great
good.
band, yeah.
Did you fuck up the lighting again?
Probably.
No, okay. It's okay. I think it readjusted itself. But yeah, he's one of my favorite videos that Voltaire did was the one where he totally redecorated his bathroom. I mean, he has his bathroom. It's like basically it's a New York apartment, so it's like the size of a postage stamp. But he really like kitted it out. He even has like his own wallpaper that he sells, like his own wallpaper design that he sells on I can't remember what the fuck is the name of that site. It's kind of one of those ones like Cafe Press or Redbubble or something like that, but it's not that. It's something else. But he has like some wallpaper that he sells, and he like wallpapered it. It's like black and white and purple, and it's like really cool. And it looked really cool, like in a very, very small space. So Rebecca said, "Me too, Jenny. I'm constantly wishing I had listened to my mom when she wanted me to help her use a sewing machine. Now I'm like, I need to take this up or make curtains. Oh wait, can't sew. Yeah, I mean, I probably don't have time now to learn, obviously, but I tried to learn before and it was like really frustrating. So I was kind of like, oh well, I'm just gonna like pay and like have other people make shit for me. I did like a couple of things, but like one time when I was a kid, I made a kimono like out of a tablecloth, and it actually like came out, and I was like surprised. I was very proud of myself. And I think like a long time ago, my grandmother even bought me. Do you guys remember like? I don't even remember when this was. It was the late 80s or early 90s. They had like those infomercials where it was like a sewing machine, but it was like a handheld one. You know what I mean? Where you could just kind of go woo. So it was, it was just for like hemming things and whatnot. And my grandmother bought me one of those, and I made like a whole, like I said, I made a couple of outfits with that because I was like, it wasn't great, but it worked. It worked. Yeah, Rebecca said it bored the living shit out of me. Yeah, that too. It's like I don't have like I'm like one of the world's most impatient people. Like seriously, if I can't do something like immediately, I'm just kind of like fuck this shit. I'm just like I don't have time for this. So sewing is just kind of like I just don't have the patience for it. I just don't. You know what I mean? It's funny because I was watching a video the other day and she was talking about I guess it was like that girl that was doing like a cheap Thanksgiving or something like that. And she was making a centerpiece. So she was doing like flower arranging like for the middle of the table for Thanksgiving. And she said on there, she's like, doing like flower designing or like, doing a centerpiece. Oh, it's so relaxing. I'm like, I bet I would not be relaxed doing that. I bet it would just like fucking stress me out. I could just see myself like being like, this looks wrong, and I'd be like throwing shit around and like that. It's like, I don't know. Why am I like this? I don't know. I just am. But like shit like that people said, like gardening and all that kind of stuff, I can't imagine that would ever be relaxing. I'm sure it is for some people, but I don't think I would find it relaxing. I think I would just find it frustrating and stressful. I find most things frustrating and stressful now that I think about it. I can't really think about anything that I find particularly relaxing. The only thing I find particularly relaxing is just kind of like laying down, drinking coffee, reading a book. That's about it. Everything else is just like a source of horrible frustration and stress. Which is probably bad. But yeah, I don't really get it.
Look at Pook.
What is she doing?
Laying on her back like you're a gummy bear. What is it with you? Why are you being... You all gummied out, huh? He's all gummied out, huh?
Wait, can you see her? Can we see her?
Yeah.
No. Oh, she turned back over anyway. Yeah, she's laying her. She's like that, and like
a little gummy bear.
And when we say about it, she's just like, huh?
Yeah.
What? What's wrong with that?
You're wagging her tail.
Yeah. That's right. I was being a gummy bear.
Yeah. She's funny.
She's such a goofball. Yeah, Rebecca said I have to wait for a dopamine hit to do things I'm not into, and even then I'm not enjoying it. Fuck that, and I just don't. Living my best life. Yeah, that's a best ADHD life. Yeah, I do kind of feel like... I don't know, man.
Blaster one, that's what he said. He's rocking our shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's like I hope we're not like
not a goth,
I hope we're like not like offending people. We're not trying to be like, you know. So it's not racist necessarily.
No,
but
yeah,
we're just being like.
It's just it's just a subculture, and we grew up in it, basically.
Well, and like I said, the weird thing is that I don't really know like how, because I know for a time, even my parents, like in the 80s, like they were okay with it. They were just kind of like, oh, okay, that's her thing, and they didn't like tell me to be different or nothing like that. But I think deep down they thought that I was going to grow out of it, and I'm like. A lot of people don't though.
No, our culture, our generation actually forced it into the mainstream.
Yeah, we went the opposite way. We made you guys.
We made you guys fucking like it because they all ended up. A lot of us ended up in Hollywood, and they started fucking pushing that.
They're making movies and shit.
And making movies, and they start, and then of course musicians and artists and everything started bringing it more to the mainstream, and it changed y'all's fashion a lot. A lot of the stuff you guys wear, and we're like, yeah, we would have worn that back in the 90s. Now that's mundane clothes.
Yeah, we would have worn that. We would have worn that back.
We would have worn that back in the day.
That's just really funny how that happened. That's really funny how that happened.
And
it's like revenge, because I was like, well, back in the 80s, like everybody just thought I was Satanist, so.
Yeah, but they liked it, I guess. Yeah. They throw shit at you from a car window and
they
shit.
would, yeah.
But then they go and they fucking
throw bottles at you.
They buy albums and shit that had our kind on it, and fucking they start buying clothes. Yeah, our kind. They're our kind, actually. And it was. It started out mostly kind of an Anglo thing, but it just spread everywhere. Central and South America loved it. There are Mexican goths that fucking compete with fucking European and Northern goths.
Because man, they got that whole Day of the Dead.
They got the whole
aesthetic going on.
They got the whole shiboba.
That's very goth.
That and the fucking. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys.
So they're primed.
Yeah.
Blaster One said a lot of goths over here would get teased or bashed for looking different. They did here as well. Probably not nowadays. I kind of feel like everybody knows what it is now. But back in the 80s and 90s, yeah, like you know like you said, you've gotten stuff thrown at you from cars. I've gotten stuff thrown at me from cars. I've never been beaten up, but I had a friend in high school who he had like the Robert Smith hair and the eyeliner and everything like that, and he got beat up several times by jock type people. But that was like back in the late 80s, early 90s, like right around there. So it did happen. I don't think it happens so much over here anymore, but because like I said, everybody knows what it is. But like in the 80s, when I was at school and like looking like that, nobody, they didn't have any context for it. You know what I mean? It's not like nobody had seen a Tim Burton movie yet or anything like that. So everyone just thought you were, and you know, it was very much satanic panic. So everyone just thought that you were a Satanist because they didn't get it. Because no one had heard of the bands that you liked. Nobody knew, like nobody had seen any movies with goths in them or anything like that. So nobody like knew what that was. They just thought you were a weirdo that worship Satan or killed puppies or something like that. So a lot of times they would just be like, I don't understand it, so I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. So yeah, it did happen. It didn't, like I said, I didn't get beat up, but I know a lot of people that did. And I did get bottles thrown at me from cars, so when I was just walking down the street going to wherever. So Blaster One said, yeah, I'm a 77 kid. That's when you were born? Okay, so you're only 5 years younger than me then. I was born in 1972. Yeah, Kanavatsan said a week ago there was a massive Day of the Dead parade in Mexico City. It's now become an international event. I mean, it's so fucking cool. It's such a great fucking idea.
Okay, you can go on Instagram, and her name is Loretta Vamps. And that's a Mexican goth girl. Look at that fucking Mexican cowboy bandito outfit and everything.
Yeah, see, that's awesome.
All right. So, goth can manifest itself in any culture.
Well, because it's a universal human thing. You know what I mean?
To darken things. You take your culture, you kind of darken it, but then you kind of make it cool.
Well, it's kind of like an acceptance and a romanticizing of like death or things that most people don't want to think about.
And you take your own culture to a new level. Look at that. Look how awesome that is with the headdress and everything.
That looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Although
she's going down amongst the crypts.
All I can think like when I see that is like, how does she go to the bathroom? Because that's what I would be.
No, you just have to walk around
that outfit.
But she makes personal appearances and everything, and then she's got the Mexican Uncle Fester.
See, that looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, yes indeed. They're walking down through the crypts. And then there are other ones with her. See, I want to go to Mexico, man. I'm going to fucking experience that shit.
That is badass.
Somebody else's interpretation of goth.
You fucked up the lighting again.
It'll be good. It'll be okay. And then
Nope,
look how awesome this. Don't worry about it because I got to do it again. Look how awesome this outfit is. Okay. And then she even dresses up like a cholo clown. Same girl.
I don't like that as much.
They're doing lowrider stuff.
I know, but
they're doing lowrider stuff.
Not really my thing.
Yeah. Okay. This is a weird one. It's kind of a Day of the Dead motif. I just think it's very creative, very original. Okay.
Rebecca says, until my late 20s, everything I wore was different shades and textures of black, and people used to think I was depressed. I just like black, and black likes me. I started wearing color, and people started freaking out. Yeah, that's the thing, too, is when I was in high school, one of my teachers, I'm not naming her, but she narked on me to the guidance counselors. They brought me to the guidance because they thought I was like suicidal or something like that because I wore black clothes and was reading Pet Sematary.
So funny.
In the 80s. I was like, really? Okay. Everybody reads Stephen King. Come on now. I mean, I could see if it was something like fucking, I don't know, like really fucked up. Or even then, it's like, I was like, back off, bitch. Leave me alone. I hated that bitch. She was one of my least favorite teachers. I'm not saying what her name was, but... Victor says, when you paint your face for Dia de los Muertos, but everyone thinks you're Kung Fu Panda. Oh, no. Kanavatsan said, that event, it's always on Saturday on the last week of October or first week of November, and it's packed. Yeah, that's the thing. It's just... I mean, it's like such a cool idea, but yeah, everybody... It'd be like I said, going out for Halloween. I'm sorry I keep doing that, but it's like I can't stand that the lighting is messed up. And
it looks perfect to me.
No, it's too bright.
Look how HD it is.
It looks awful.
You're just not used to it.
Yeah.
Do you guys like that better, or do you like it better the other way?
I don't like that. It looks all fucked up.
Because it's too sharp, huh?
Well, no, it's like kind of washed out.
Really?
It looks all washed out.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not getting any contrast. Everything's like all washed out. I don't like it. I don't like it, but
then do it.
I've been doing it. It won't go back. You keep fucking it up because you keep like fucking my focus up.
Look at how much she complains. She blames everything on me.
Well, you're the one that did it.
Better?
No, it's the same.
Okay.
It's the same.
I'm teaching that bitch how to fucking
It's the same as it was.
There you go.
There. Finally.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
It went back.
Now quit messing with it.
It went back.
Quit messing with it. Let's see. Yeah, I mean Kanavasan said this last one was a record breaker in attendance. It's televised nationwide. It's a big thing here, like your Tournament of Roses parade in a way. Yeah, that's
Becca
what
says we look great. Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like that
She's just
washed
not
out
used to
kind
it.
of looking. Yeah, but
Okay.
that only happens because it doesn't know like what the focus is now. Like I'm used to just having it like this because this is what it's usually like. That's what it's.
We only got another 10 minutes before we got to close the show down anyway. That's
true. But you know, we didn't even hardly even talk about food today.
We'll make some food. Go to the restaurant. I took some water pills, so I just keep putting everything going through.
Too much information, Tom. Okay. Victor's asking how Mexico City is in the winter. I want to go soon. Yeah, I don't imagine... It probably doesn't get cold, right? I mean, it's probably similar... It's dry, though, right? I don't think it's like... I was going to say it's similar to Florida winter, but it's not going to be like Florida winter, because Florida winter is just... sometimes pleasant, but it's usually pretty humid. I think right now, according to my little laptop here, it says it's 73 degrees and partly cloudy, which isn't terrible, but I kind of wish that it was cooler because it's fucking November, for Christ's sake. Yeah, Victor said it's up in the mountains, though. It's cold. Oh, yeah, I guess so. Okay. I forgot to take that into consideration. But yeah, 73. See, I kind of wish it was down in like the 60s or the 50s. You know what I mean? It's like November. It's only a couple weeks until Thanksgiving. I wish it would like cool off. We had a couple days where it was kind of cool, like at night. And we just had, other day, we had that tropical storm shit like roll through here. Which, you know, that kind of cooled it off. But it didn't really do much of anything other than be really windy. Khan says, no, it's cold, Jenny. It rains sometimes. Oh, okay. Better than here, then. Well, like I said, winter here, it's mostly warm, but sometimes in the morning or sometimes in the evening, it's, like, pleasant. Every now and then, it'll get really cold. Like, every now and then, it'll get, like, below freezing, but not usually. And, I mean, every now and then, it'll happen, like, in January or February, if it's going to happen, like, not in December. And there have been, like, some Christmases where... when I was growing up, where we actually like had to turn the AC on, like on Christmas, because it was just too warm. Like especially like with all the people in the house and stuff. Because where I grew up, like my grandmother's house, she didn't have central air. She just had a window unit, and it was like in the dining room. So it was a very, very big deal. She would always like wait because it's expensive, you know, like to run it in the summertime, and you didn't run it the rest of the year. So it would always be like this big deal where she would like wait like a really long time, like before, because we would just keep begging her. It's like, please turn the air on, please turn the air on. It's like, it's so hot, it's so hot. And she would like hold out and hold out and hold out, like growing up. Oh. And she would hold out because she could take it. She didn't care about being hot. And we were just like, please, we're dying. Oh my God. And then finally it would be like the end of May, and she'd be like, okay, we're turning the air on. Everybody would be like, wee. And it'd be like, that'd be like a big deal, like turning the air on day. Because you knew like when it was coming on, it was staying on like all summer because she just like let it run continuously. And then like when you turned it off, usually you didn't turn it off until like after Halloween. So it was usually like right about now that you would be turning it off, like in November. And then even then, like sometimes everybody would come over for Thanksgiving or everybody would come over for Christmas, and it would get like really, really warm in the house and everybody would complain. So then she'd have to like turn it back on. But usually once she turned it off, it was off for the year. She wasn't fucking around. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like a one or the other like proposition. That's kind of what it was. Let's see. Victor says I have to go next September 19th to Mexico City. Yeah, you wanted to go to Mexico City, didn't you?
I'd go anywhere in Mexico. I'd go to TJ.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Mexico City's, I think, is kind of... that's kind of like the biggest... That's a big city. That's one of the biggest cities in North America. But I've heard that it's got too many fucking gringos there, man. If I want to go, I'm gonna go see some Mexicans. I'm gonna fucking. I'd rather go to a fucking place like TJ, and go hang out with fucking people that I know. You want to hang out with people that live in the area.
Well, yeah,
and see the real thing. You don't want to do tourist bullshit.
Yeah, I never really understood people that.
I don't like that.
Well, I never understood people that would. Well, especially I mean,
go there like a regular dude.
Unless you have money falling out your ass, which most people don't. Why would you want to pay like all this money to go to a whole other country and then just hang
out with foreigners
and then hang out with other people that were like, that's why I never understood like Americans that wanted to go to like Europe or whatever and just like do American shit. Like, we're gonna go to Europe and we're gonna eat at McDonald's. I'm like, what for? You can eat at McDonald's back home.
Yeah, I'm fluent in Portuguese. I grew up in Brazil, so I can read and understand Spanish well. It's real close to Portuguese. If I speak Portuguese to them, they don't quite understand it. I know the basics of their language, so I can fake a fucking Spanish sentence. It would take me a while to do the conversion between the two. It's a Latin language. It's the same root language. It's just they do things differently. You know, the articles are a little bit different, but there's still verb conjugation. Most of the nouns are the same. But some of it is regional dialects too, so you got to pick that up. I noticed that the rhythm of Mexican Spanish is a lot faster than Portuguese. Portuguese is a lot slower. They just kind of they roll R's and stuff, which I've heard them roll R's, and then you don't roll any R's in Portuguese. They just have a different way of doing it. But if I was there for a few months, I'd pick it up. I'd be able to speak Spanish in a couple months.
I mean, I took Spanish as a kid in school
for
several years.
But you don't really get speaking experience.
No.
That's really what it is. And it has to be conversation.
Like, it would probably come back to me. So, honestly, I took French for longer. I took French for 4 years. But so that might come back quicker, but I'm not really sure.
But I hear it, and I could hear it, and I understand it, if I could know most of it. Reading it, I understand almost all of it by reading it. It's real close to Portuguese. But for some reason, Spanish speakers don't understand Portuguese. And I think it's because Portuguese has most of the same nouns that Spanish has. But Portuguese has more. It has a lot of Italian alternatives and French-based alternative nouns in it. And Portuguese articles sound more, and pronouns sound more like something out of French. That's all.
Victor says Portuguese and Spanish is a one-way street. Portuguese can understand Spanish pretty easily, but not the other way around.
Yeah.
And then Khan said it's like Italian and Spanish. It's very similar.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I first started, because I started learning Italian for a little while, and I was surprised at like how easy Italian was. Like, if you already had a background in like Spanish and French, like Italian was like really, really easy.
What's weird though is that if you know Portuguese, you can understand Romanian, and evidently there's no relation between Romanian and Portuguese. But I can hear Romanian. I don't know what they're saying. Don't ask me. And a Brazilian told me the same thing. He's like, yeah, you can understand Romanian. And like, why? And if you go on Wikipedia and try to find the roots of the Romanian language, it supposedly is not related to Portuguese. But I don't believe that.
Must be one of those weird convergent evolution things.
I don't believe it. I think it's got to be Latin based. And it's got to be something similar.
Well, yeah,
like
Victor
Portuguese.
said Romanian is a Romance language.
Yeah.
It's like Italian. It's
yeah,
right
but they
next
say
door.
it's not related to Portuguese. But it's got to be.
I imagine
understand
there's
it.
probably a relationship.
Yeah.
It's not like they're not from Mars or anything like that. Khan says, and as an observation, if you try to speak Spanish, even if you don't know it well, you'll get more respect because you tried and people are more open to you.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that's probably true in most countries of the world.
That's the same here.
Well, yeah, and I think that's kind of why some, there's that stereotype of like the ugly American who just like goes to another country and like refuses to speak the language and just shouts English louder.
Tries to bring America with him.
And everyone gets mad.
Bring America with him.
Everyone gets mad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and the thing about it is that I kind of feel like, well, and particularly like a lot of Europeans and stuff like that, even if English isn't their first language, a lot of them do learn English in school, so a lot of them are pretty good, like can, speak pretty decent English. So a lot of times, what they told me when I took French in high school, and this was like a long time ago, but they basically said a lot of French people can speak English because they teach it to them in school. But if you just come at them and like don't even attempt to like speak French, like when you're in France, then they will pretend that they don't speak English. Which I said, well, I don't know if they would all do that, but I said, well, you can't really blame them. I would probably do the same thing. I would pretend that. I mean, if you're going to be obnoxious about it, and be like, I have no idea what you're saying, even though I totally do. You know what I mean? So I can see that. I can see that. I don't know if they do that really, but I remember them telling me that in my class. All right, so you seem like you're getting all antsy.
It's time.
It's 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
You're dropping shit all over the floor.
I'll be fine.
We need to like make some stuff to eat, and then I gotta change my clothes and put some shoes
get ready
on.
for tonight. You guys have a good weekend.
That. Yeah, we'll be back on Sunday talking about, I don't know, we'll be talking about a movie, but I don't know which one yet because we haven't watched it yet. We'll watch something tomorrow night. And maybe we'll talk about some more Universal Monster movies because we've been watching those.
Yeah, we watched Frankenstein.
We watched Frankenstein, and then we started to watch Bride of Frankenstein, but I fell asleep.
Yeah, Bride of Frankenstein was looking better.
Well, a lot of people
Yeah.
think Bride of Frankenstein was better than the original
Yeah.
Frankenstein, which that's kind of one of the movies that gets brought up when they're like, oh, sequel that's better than the original.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Frankenstein. I'm not saying that, but so maybe we could do that. Maybe we could do some like Universal monster
Okay.
shit. That'd be fun.
All right.
All right, so hopefully you guys have a good weekend, and we'll see you guys again on Sunday. So thanks for dropping by. Thanks for your super chats and everything like that. So we'll see you guys again on Sunday evening. Good.